What is up, Minties? This is the Uncanny Omar here from Near Mint Condition, and today I'm going to take an advanced look at the Black Bolt Oversized Hardcover from Marvel Comics, so please stay tuned. Now, before we get started, I'd like to give a huge shout out to David Gabriel and the folks at Marvel for sending us an advanced copy of the book. The book will be available on January 1st. It literally comes out the first day of 2020 at places like cheapgraphicnovels.com. And speaking of cheap graphic novels, this episode is sponsored by cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for brand new graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off the cover price. Cheap Graphic Novels prides itself on packaging your books so they arrive safely and in excellent condition, as well as prompt and helpful service. And check out their bargain bin for even greater deals up to 90% off cover price. And for you Minties, Cheap Graphic Novels is running a special promotion. If you're a first-time customer, let them know you were referred by Near Mint Condition at the checkout, and you'll receive a credit for free shipping on your next order. Now, this is only for U.S. customers. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discounts, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. So, first of all, I want to say that it's really cool that we have the Venom hardcover, that we had the Immortal Hulk hardcover with Immortal Hulk Volume 2 Oversized hardcover coming out, and now we have Black Bolt. Gives me a lot of hope that a lot of other series are going to get this oversized hardcover treatment. Now, one of the questions I've gotten is, what exactly is an oversized hardcover? They're wondering if it's the same size as a trade paperback, but just to clarify, it is the height of a omnibus. Okay, so here it is compared to the War of the Kings omnibus. You can tell it's the exact same height. Of course, a lot thinner, right? Because it doesn't have that much content, or as much as an omnibus, rather. And here it is compared to the size of a standard size trade paperback. So the trade paperbacks are always smaller than the size of comic books dimensions, whereas the oversized hardcovers have bigger artwork. That's the difference. That's when I talk about oversized hardcovers, that's what they are. There are also standard size hardcovers. For example, the new Marvel Select line, like this Thor God Butcher. I'll be doing an advanced viewing of this sometime soon on the channel, by the way. But see what I mean? This is a standard size hardcover, and this is an oversized hardcover. On the channel, I've done a video on the different types of collected editions, so if you want to go back and check that video out, I'll put it up on the link above. So now let's take a look at the book. Here's the cover, and then the spine. It's purple. And there's all the credits. Marvel logo at the top, and it does retail for $34.99. And let's look at it without the dust jacket. You have this crazy artwork here from Christian Ward, and we're going to talk a little bit about the artwork too. Now let's look inside the book. Now if you see my Baltimore haul, you saw I got some Inhuman books. I'm not the biggest Inhumans fan. As a matter of fact, the Inhuman were probably some of my least favorite characters in the Marvel Universe. I didn't have a lot of the content in collected editions, and then I went on a big buying spree. You'll see it in my haul, mainly because of this book. So it is written by Saladin Ahmed. Christian Ward supplies us with the artwork, with a couple of issues by Fraser Irving, and one issue by Stephanie Hans. So let's talk a little bit about the book. Yes, Black Bolt was always one of those characters that I thought was awesome and pretty badass, like in War of the Kings, or any time that he ever showed up in a story. He kind of reminded me a little bit of Namor, where I wasn't the biggest fan of Namor. I always thought this guy was either a hero or a villain, and it wasn't until the John Byrne Namor series that I learned to appreciate him. Well, I guess I can consider this the John Byrne Namor series, because Black Bolt is really freaking cool. Like, I never thought I would enjoy a story with him, basically because I always thought, how can you do a story with Black Bolt? The guy doesn't even talk. Like, you can't even hear him. He's whispering half the time, or he has Medusa talk for him. How is Ahmed gonna do a story with him? So a huge shout out to my buddy Gio, A Week in Geekdom YouTube channel. You should check it out, because he has always had this love of Inhumans. And I was like, no, man, the Inhumans are like a poor X-Men. As a matter of fact, they try to pass them off as X-Men for a long time. They were trying to shove the Inhumans in our faces, and it never worked. Well, damn it, I spoke too soon, because I thoroughly enjoyed this. And I know it's not a review of the book, but sometimes when I do these overviews, I can't help but share my thoughts on a book. Here, let's flip a little more because I'll talk about the premise. So, quickly, the premise of the book is that Blackbolt Boltagon, yeah, that's his name, Black Bolt. Believe me, he gets a lot of crap for that in this issue, in the series. He wakes up in a prison cell, and he has this thing on his mouth, so he can't talk. He can't use his powers because I don't know if you're familiar with the character or not. He's an Inhuman, and his power is just to blow things up with even a whisper. So he doesn't really talk, and that's why he can't talk. Well, he wakes up there, and there's other superhumans and other aliens there with him. I'm going to keep a few of the surprises for you to read yourself if you have not read this, but one of them being the Absorbing Man from the pages of Thor. There are characters in here that are so obscure from the Silver Age, from pages of like the Incredible Hulk, or just like Silver Age comics that were one-offs. It's kind of like The Great Escape. Like, they set out to escape from this prison, and I don't want to ruin who puts him in this prison. I don't want to ruin who the jailer is of the prison. And I also don't want to ruin some amazing cameos that I wasn't expecting in here that I was like, oh, this is really cool. So think The Great Escape, and if you're a fan of Planet Hulk, it's very much like that, but with a lot more twists and surprises in here. I couldn't put the book down. And like I said, I know it's not a review, but I couldn't put the book down. It was freaking awesome to read. And a lot of it was helped by this wonderful artwork here by Christian Ward. Let's look at a little bit back here towards the beginning because I don't want to spoil what happens at the end. Here's that mouthpiece I was talking about. It kind of reminds me of artwork that you would see in like heavy metal magazines or European comics. I don't know if y'all are familiar with Pasquale Ferry. That's whose artwork this reminds me of, with some Fraser Irving. And Fraser Irving, as a matter of fact, draws issues 5 and 7 in this series. So this contains all 12 issues of the Maxi series. This was coming out at the same time that the Royals were coming out, the Royals book, which is where you found the Inhumans at the time. And you don't really need to read that because I haven't read those issues yet to enjoy this book. I will say that much about it. But yeah, you can tell, like, with Irving's artwork and Christian Ward's artwork, you kind of get this sense of, like, a European style of storytelling. And Ahmed is an Eisner Award winner. As a matter of fact, this book won an Eisner Award, and I can tell why. And I'm so glad that we get this artwork in oversized format. It is absolutely beautiful. I mean, just look at this, and I can't even show you the best pieces of art because it would spoil the story. So let's look at the extras here in the back. Okay, so we'll kick it off with some variant covers by Paul Pope, Butch Guys, and a bunch of other variants. They love these toy variants. Is that Ed McGuinness? Nope, that's Ryan Stegman. That's a weird variant cover. That's Mary Jane. I guess they were doing a Mary Jane covers those months. Days of Future Past, a take on that. That's a Christian Ward cover. And then Legacy covers. It's an afterword by Saladin Ahmed, who wrote this. Character designs. And then some behind the pages stories here. How the story came to be. And yeah, it's both the writer and artist talking about how the story came to be. Panel by panel. So these stories were originally printed in 2017 to 2018. So it's really cool that we ended up getting a hardcover. And I like the purple end pages. Now let's look at the binding. Not sure if you could tell that it is sewn binding. And here is that eye. And I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but the end page right there looks like there's a little breakage. That's just my copy, though. So that's something a little book glue can fix. And that was the content of the book. Let me know in the comments down below if you plan on picking this up, if you've already read it, if you're going to upgrade your trade paperbacks, or if you're going in blind because Marvel is releasing these oversized hardcovers. So thank you very much for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button. Join us on our Redbubble where we sell stickers and t-shirts with our logo on it. And we can also be found on Patreon if you enjoy the content of this channel and can support us that way. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if it's classy and cool, it must be near mint.